Hi there, I am Karen Paff, and I'm a Senior Vice President on the Ogilvy Media and Influence team. And for 2 decades, I was a broadcast journalist. I started my career at the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather, worked over at 60 Minutes, and then I decided, let me get in front of the camera. How hard could it be, right? So over the next few years, I was a local reporter across the country covering business stories and space shuttle launches and presidential elections. And the one thing that I noticed that was amazing were the PR people that were really good at their jobs. And eventually I became a PR professional because I noticed that we had a couple of skills in common. So there are 3 transferable skills that come to mind. 1, a journalist has pitched numerous stories to their editor on a daily basis. They know what it takes to develop a good story. That skill set gives them an advantage in the PR world as they know the facts needed to develop a good pitch that's compelling and newsworthy. 2, they're a good writer. They've been trained to write pieces that gain mass appeal. As a PR professional, you'll be drafting media pitches, key messages, and all sorts of copy in a world where content is king. You are royalty. There are pros at handling interviews. They've asked the tough questions and can spot a good quote or a soundbite. This expertise is critical in training your client for a tough interview. So the answer to that question is sort of unique because as a former journalist, I really enjoyed doing several different stories, covering a political story one day, a breaking news story one day, and a business story the next. So I really enjoy working at a PR agency where you have various clients and you're doing several different things. However, if you're someone who is interested in just representing one brand, you might want to think about just going in-house. Well, first, many journalists have a fear of rejection. You know, I have a little secret to let you in on. When I was a journalist, I got a ton of PR pitches, and I didn't read most of them. I just hit the delete button. And so that's a big fear for the PR professional that's starting anew and they're a former journalist. They're worried on that fear of rejection. However, keep in mind and focus on those PR professionals that you really enjoyed working with, the ones that were really good, the ones that crafted those great pitches. I think the other hard thing is that as a journalist, you've been told to remain neutral at all times, and now you're being asked to represent a brand. So that can be difficult transition. My advice to you is to represent a brand that you believe in. So besides some of the key skills that we've already discussed, there are 3 other ones that I think you should focus on during an interview. 1, presentation skills. As a former broadcast journalist, I can tell you I was trained to command an audience and to remain composed in stressful situations. That's a quality that'll serve you during high-stakes client interviews or presentations. And print reporters are also very used to interviewing CEOs and high-level executives. So being able to think on your feet and command an audience of that nature is so important in this industry. 2, analytical thinking. You're an expert at dissecting complex issues and pulling the headlines from large amounts of information. When brands hand you volumes of content, you'll have a better idea than most about what's more compelling and what will really resonate with those audiences. 3, contacts. As a reporter, you are elbow to elbow with other reporters out in the field, so PR agencies love to know that you have spent time building relationships with some media contacts that you can then reach out to when you're in the PR world. So both industries pay fairly well. You'll see there's a growing pay gap between journalism and PR in favor of PR. Let me close by saying that one of the most common conversations I have with my friends are, should I leave journalism and go into PR? You'd be surprised that some of the journalists that you're talking to right now are asking themselves that very same question. For me, the answer remains to be the same, and that is